Well, it started with an old kit from Linton, which he didn't want to build. And then I ended up with that kit. And after I've seen what it was about, it was actually a standoff scale kit. And so I converted this complete thing. I used from that kit virtually nothing. But I was so interested to get all the details. So I started to read the books, get plans and all the details. That was about 5 years ago. And well, here I am now after many years doing almost all things here are handmade. Even the undercarriage, the wheels, everything is handmade. It's not, there's nothing bought. So it took me plenty of hours, but I enjoy it. You know, that is my life from childhood on. So my next one will be then obviously a bigger one, because that's only a 1:6 scale. Which is very difficult to build the details. But as you can see, I've done it. I had one test flight at the beginning, which was very nice, and then after I had 2 incidences. Therefore, I'm very glad to be helped by Jason Barker. He is an absolute perfect person, because he taught me now all the details which I can do with the radio, because I have all functions in there, but I've never used the capacity of that radio. I'm getting too old for these things. I'm just over 70, so you're not that clever anymore. It's a Focke Wulf 190D, which was to replace the A versions, which all had a radial motor, whilst this one had a Junkers 12-cylinder V motor with hanging cylinders, and was eventually built in specific for high altitude as the development went on. It could have any armament on it, from machine guns to machine cannons. It could fire rockets into the big bomber pulks, which then separated them. And that was actually one of the best versions which was ever built by Focke Wulf. And it's specific from the engineer, the constructor, which is Kurt Tank, or was Kurt Tank. And he also test flew all his planes until he died. He was an amazing chappie. And actually he comes from the same area where I come from, that's Prussia, which doesn't exist anymore. And he came also from there. So he was a very strict person, but he loved this flying and constructing it and building it. And he had all these ideas. I was initially reading that all the other chaps normally use a 92-stroke motor. And I thought, no, I don't like a 2-stroke motor for that purpose. I love the 2-stroke in general, but not for that purpose. The sound is wrong. So eventually got hold of a 94-stroke, which obviously has less power. But then I did some tests at home with high nitro content. I'm up to 20% now. And I checked the static thrust at home and compared it with different props. And was quite an involved story. I found out after all the graphs, which I have then established, that the best was this prop, which is a 17.6, with that 90 motor and the mix of 20% of nitro, and I have 17, I think it's 17 synthetic oil, correct, and the rest is methanol. So with that I have a 80% thrust to weight ratio, which is very important for these heavy planes because it weighs 5.2 kilos. So I got with a thrust of 4.2 somewhere around. It's just 80%, and with that you can fly. But obviously the difficulty on building these planes, which are fiberglass, you put fiberglass over the balsa, and it adds on a little bit of weight. And we got on the tail relative high weight, so that's why the CG is not absolutely perfect, but it's flyable. and it just needs someone to be very careful on the landing.
Leon, it went very well. It's got a high wing loading, but it flies very well. On landing it's a little bit tricky, needs a little bit of nose weight as well. Otherwise it looks absolutely fantastic. Once it's up at speed it flies very well. So I'm glad it's down in one piece.
Yeah, watching now this flight with Jason is amazing. I have flown it once myself with a good landing, but I could not set it up afterwards like he did now. He's rolling, he's looping. It is a difficult plane to fly at the moment because it's tail heavy, and so I'm quite goosey after this flight because I love the picture when this plane flies past. It's amazing. I just love it. And I say thank you to everyone who helped. Okay.